Hi, I'm Mike Richter, and today we're going to be talking about discovering your why as far as real estate investing. Now, this comes from the idea that Simon Sinek had put forth in his book, Start With Why, where he popularized the idea that if you have a significant enough reason to do something, that it can inspire not only yourself, your family, but also an organization. And that's how it's generally been applied nowadays, is in an organizational sense. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it on an individual level as well. This also has a lot to do with the idea of beginning with the end in mind that Stephen Covey put forth in the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, without further ado, let's talk about what the overview is. So, first off, we're going to talk about what is your goal? What elements are driving you to start investing in real estate? Or if you're already in real estate investing, what is it that continues to push you to the next level? What do you hope to achieve? Next off is, why is achieving that goal important? What is the reason behind it? You set the goal for a reason. What is it like once you get that goal? And is that goal the end all be all, or is it something that'll set you forth from there? And finally, I wanted to talk a little bit about what my why is for real estate investing and investing in general. First, what is your goal? It might be to have 10 houses purchased in 10 years. It's very similar to the story that Robert Kiyosaki put forth in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where the idea was to purchase 10 houses over 10 years, one per year. And in the book, he went to say that, yeah, that was the goal that he started with, but it turned out that by having that persistent action throughout, he was able to achieve much more than the goal that he had set out to achieve in the first place, which was awesome. Your goal might be to have a certain amount of income come in every month in passive income that you don't have to work for. It may also be, hey, I need to replace an income, that way my spouse can come home. That could be a reason that you invest in real estate. Or maybe you're looking for stability in your retirement. You're looking for something a little bit more steady than Social Security and a 401k to depend upon in your golden years. Well, that's great. Whatever your goal is, let's take some time to think about, why is it important? What will achieving that goal do for you? And when you look at a goal of replacing an income, it's pretty obvious what that goal will do for you. If it's your own income, then you are free to work or not work, or do something that is directly related to your interests. Or maybe it's a spouse, and the spouse gets to come home and take care of the children, or instruct the children at home. Whatever it is, that is a significant reason to put forth all of the time and the effort needed to do real estate investing, especially if you've got a full-time job. And let's be honest here, doing real estate investing, the actual acquisition process, is fairly straightforward. It's a lot of work in small bursts of time, and then you have a lot of freedom once you get the units rented and under property management. So lots of work for a small period of time, and then you end up getting long-term benefits. And that's a great thing for me. So think about your goals again. If you were to close your eyes, would you be able to think about that goal and visualize what it would be like if you were to achieve that goal? Think about it as if you had already achieved it. Take a few moments, if you would, and do that right now. How does it feel? How does it feel to know that you've achieved that goal? How are things different in your life because you achieved the goal? All of those things that add up can add up to be your why. And if your why is strong enough, you're going to do what you set out to do, and you're not going to let little things get in your way, and you'll be willing to put in the time that you might be putting into watching TV or something like that, or in my case, I would play video games a lot. So I would take time away from the video games to do real estate investing. That way I still had plenty of time to be with my family and make the most of that time, even though I was working so much. Now I'll go ahead and share with you what my what and why are. So when I got started in real estate investing, my what was to achieve $5,000 a month in passive income. And the reason for that was I figured that $60,000 in a part of the country with a fairly low cost of living would be enough for my family to live a fairly comfortable life. It's a little less than I was making when I was working full time, but it's definitely enough to make it worthwhile for me to stay home and spend more time with my family and be able to invest in the relationships with my wife and my children. Now that was the what. Now let's talk about the why. Obviously, spending more time with my wife and kids was a huge factor associated with that, especially since the past 4 years and some change, I've been working 60 to 80 hours a week. That's a lot of time to put in away from my family. And I mean, I was living in the same town as I was working, but it's just a lot of time away from the family. And that had a lot of stress and strain associated with that, especially associated with the relationships that I had with my children. Because I was working so much, I really didn't have as much patience as I really should have had for them. And it put an early strain. And thankfully now we've been able to mend those strains and really move forward and achieve great things in our relationships. Now, the more important why to me was that I grew up in pretty dire poverty, and my family has been really bad off as far as debt and poverty and suffering for several generations. This includes my mother's generation, my grandmother's generation, my great-grandparents, and very far down the line, because I can't imagine what they might have done. As far as I know, none of them had achieved any great deal of success in the countries of their origins. But it was important to me to make sure that I stopped that cycle with my generation. And thankfully, we've been able to achieve a great amount in my family. And I've been able to share a lot of what I've done with my cousins, my brother, and my sister. And there are great things that are happening in our generation that hadn't happened in generations past. And that's really amazing to see where we came from. And it gives me a lot of hope, especially when we're able to invest so much time in our children to teach them how to go about creating a money tree for themselves. Now, we joke about money trees not existing, but if you think about a cash flowing asset as a money tree, it's a good illustration to teach the children, because you literally have this asset, whether it's a physical asset or an intellectual asset, that's creating money for you over seasons. And so in a lot of ways it is a money tree. So if I can teach my kids how to plant and grow and cultivate their own money trees, then that frees them up to do the things that they are really talented at and to impact the world in a way that utilizes their skills and their talents to their highest potential. And that was one of the biggest things that we wanted to do for our family, is to unleash our kids' natural talents so that they can do great things for the world. They're still young right now. They're 5 and 6, but I can already see that they're learning so much and they're able to do so much because we're able to invest that time into them. And now that we're currently at that place where I can be home most of the time, what's important now is paying it forward. And that's kind of what inspired this video series to begin with. Was I've had a great deal of mentors come to my life and teach me the concept of paying it forward. They invested time and effort into me, and I've made sure to be very thankful and give back as much as possible. But the next step is paying it forward and finding a way to teach others so that they and their children can be free to do what's best uh, in their own minds, or a best use of their talents and their passions. So just to go over real quick again, take time today to really think about what your goals are and why you're getting started in real estate investing, or why you're considering it, or what do you hope to achieve. If you're already in real estate investing, are the goals of yesterday or last year still your goals today, or do you need to have those goals grow with you as you grow and develop in your journey? And of course, why is it important? What will achieving those goals do for you and your family? And how will it feel to achieve it? And taking time to visualize it every now and then. That way, it can rekindle that motivation for you to achieve so much more than you would have otherwise. And once again, I shared a little bit about what and why are. Like earning $5,000 a month in passive income. That was the goal initially. And it would get me home with my family. I'd be able to change my family tree forever. And that's a fantastic thing. And finally, now to pay it forward. And that is a wonderful thing, to be able to step into someone's life and teach them a few things and have them implement them and change not only their own future, but the future of their entire family. And that's something that's big, and that's a big why to motivate each and every day. So if you like this video, if you've got a question, go ahead and put a comment in the comment section below. If you really like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to hear back for more. I want to thank you so much for your time and wish you a fantastic day.